Hello, welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Evelis Chingambe. Our top stories. Beneficiaries of this year's lean season food insecurity response program cautioned against abuse of the aid. Former cabinet ministers Richard Banda and Virumbiko Mumba are in police custody following their arrest on Friday. And in sports, the Malawi national netball team, the Queens, ready to face Uganda in a semi-final clash this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. Beneficiaries of the lean season food insecurity response program in the country have been cautioned against selling or misusing the food assistance meant to cushion hunger-stricken families. Vice President Justice Dr. Jen Ansah issued the warning at Lufita Ground in Chichiba when she presided over the ongoing food distribution exercise for the district, coordinated by the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA. George Nkhani reports.
According to the Vice President, Dr. Jen Ansah, government is aware of the food shortages affecting many parts of the district and the country following poor harvests, but stressed that the support should directly benefit the intended households. Dr. Ansah further said the government of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will live to its promise that no one will be left to starve, among others. She therefore called on people in Chichiba to work hard in their fields so as they harvest enough next season.
Ndichenjeze anthu onse ofuna kukolola ndi kupindula pamutu pa anthu ovutikitsitsa kuti aone polekera pogwirizana ndi malamulo oyendetsera ntchito za ngozi zogwa mwadzidzidzi. Ndipemphe kuti tonse tigwirane manja kuti tilimbikitse kwambiri ulimi wa nthirira ndi wa makono, osadalira mvula yokha, kuti tikhale odzidalira pa chakudya. Ndipemphenso anthu onse tidzikonza m'minda mwathu pokonzekera kudzala kuti tichepetse vuto la kusowa kwa chakudya pa khomo pathu.
Speaking area, DODMA Commissioner Wilson Molin urged community leaders in the district to promote accountability and ensure right people receive the support, warning against corruption, favoritism and diversion of relief items. Senior Chief Morambi of the district expressed gratitude to the government for the assistance, noting that many families have been starving on one meal a day due to depleted food stocks.
We thank the Vice President to come and give out food to those who are in dire need. We also must go on the same page that we should look for fertilizer so that we arrest the possibility of having hunger next year. So that's why I asked for the government, for her to go and speak for us, so they should provide fertilizer to those who can afford to buy.
DODMA says the lean season response will continue throughout the district, reaching about 3,000 vulnerable families until next harvest. George Nkhani, MBC, Chichiba.
The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, has bemoaned inadequate funding for anticipatory action against disasters which negatively affect the country's response. Commissioner for DODMA, Wilson Molin, said more lives, resources and property could be saved if the country scaled up anticipatory action. He was speaking during the third National Dialogue Platform on Anticipatory Action in Malawi. More in this report by Trinity Kapantengo.
Malawi has of late been facing overlapping climate shocks, bringing loss of life, displacement and loss of property. According to the Commissioner of the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, Wilson Moleni, post-Cyclone Freddy review noted that funding shortfalls delayed actions in affected areas, hence the review acting as a wake-up call to the department to scale up anticipatory action. He notes that the framework is important but emphasized the need for more funding for successful disaster responses.
This is about early action, being proactive, using focus to prepare and reduce impacts of disasters. You know, the anticipatory action requires resources, and government alone may not handle the resources needed, and that's why we're calling upon partners to come in to support government on this the roadmap that has been created.
Acting Director of Programs and Development at the Malawi Red Cross Society, MRCS, Leonard Maganga, stressed the importance of prepositioning stocks in strategic locations to enable quick response to disasters. He then called on the private sector to work together with the government in addressing this challenge.
Funding is a big constraint in as much as the anticipatory action is concerned. So if the private sector can come and join hands with the humanitarian organizations to support government in terms of finances, I think that could ease government. As you are aware that government has a lot of work it is also doing in terms of anticipatory action and even the actual response. So private sector is very key to support financing these activities.
World Food Programme Country Director Hyung Jun Lim emphasized the importance of reacting early before disasters hit, saying recovery tends to be harder when disasters hit.
We know that this, natural disaster, climate shock is now more regular, so we really have to be, prepared. The timing is so important. When you plant the seed and fertilizer, it's very, very important. It will affect the entire, crops and harvest. So we provide cash support so that they are not worried about, surviving, but they can focus on their agricultural activities so that, they can produce more. They build their resilience so that they can.
Unlike reactive aid, which responds after disasters, anticipatory actions aims to save lives, protect livelihoods, and reduce cost by reacting early. The National Dialogue Platform was held under the theme From Insights to Impact, institutionalizing anticipatory action. Trinity Kapantengo, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Malawi Liverpool Wellcome Research Programme has called for strengthened public health measures, resilient infrastructure and improved disaster preparedness as key to mitigating the severe effects of climate change in the country. The call was made by the programme's Communications and Public Engagement Manager, Lindiwe Maflega, during a community exhibition and policy dialogue held in Lilongwe. Smart Jaliga with the details.
According to Lindiwe Maflega, engaging communities on climate change and its effects on health seeks to highlight the link between climate change and health using the photo voice methodology. The approach allowed participants to document their real-life experiences through photography to help shape research priorities and inform climate health interventions. She said 40 community members from the rural and urban Blantyre and Chikwawa areas heavily affected by Tropical Cyclone Freddy took part by sharing images and testimonies outlining health impacts such as flooding and extreme heat.
The main aim of this project that we are calling Engaging Communities on Climate Change and Health is so that we can understand community perspectives about the effects of climate change on their health. We want to conduct research that is relevant and that is responsive to community issues.
Group Village Head Santana of Traditional Authority Kasisi in Chikwawa District said communities are now taking steps to addressing climate change, adding that such interventions are vital for reducing future climate-related risks. Director of the Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services, Lucent Tiratira, said the department continues to enhance the delivery of early warning messages to help Malawians prepare for disasters. She noted that Malawi is working towards meeting the UN Early Warning for All targets, which requires all citizens to be reached with timely alerts by 2027.
As you know, that in Malawi we are affected by extreme events, starting from floods, tropical cyclones, strong winds, even drought as well. So we have a system that helps us to monitor.
Malawi Congress Party Secretary General and Virumbiko Mumba, who was the party's presidential running mate during the 16 September general election, are in police custody following their arrest on Friday. National Police spokesperson Lael Chintembo declined to disclose the ground for the arrest, stating that his office will release a statement explaining the reasons. Chimwendo Banda is being held at Kanengo Police Station, while Mumba is at Lingadzi Police Station. Investors have been urged to adhere to higher standards when constructing lodges and other facilities in the tourism sector. Mzuzu City Council Chief Executive Officer Gomesiani Nyasulu made the remarks when he witnessed the opening of Rayoni Lodge and Events Garden in Mzuzu. Blessings Kondwe reports.
Nyasulu said Mzuzu City is growing and it needs more places like Rayon Lodge. But he said every investor must maintain higher standards of building to ensure the growth of country's tourism and hospitality industries.
We can't exist without investors, and we cannot develop this city without them. So what we are sending a message is we are looking for big investors who want to put up big conventional centers within the city, 5-star hotels. We want them to come here in Mzuzu. We know anytime soon the airport will start functioning, and once the airport comes into function, we expect some support services which should be available within the cities.
Rayon Lodge owner Dr. Anthony Mukumbwa encouraged people to cultivate a saving culture, saying it helps to accomplish future investments. He cited himself as an example, having started the project in 2011, but through the savings, the project is finally done.
When I looked at the City Council strategic plan, there was an element of a garden in Mzuzu, where a recreation area where families can go to. Okay? So I picked that plan from the City Council, and then it's the implementation of that plan. City Council can only do strategic planning for the city. Okay? So it's up to us to pick those plans and implement them, and that's what we've done here.
During the ceremony, attendees were entertained with live gospel music from various artists. Blessings Gondwe, MBC News, Mzuzu.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Evelys Chingambe. A reminder of our top stories. Beneficiaries of this year's lean season food insecurity response program cautioned against abuse of the aid. Former cabinet ministers Richard Chimwendo Banda and Virumbiko Mumba are in police custody following their arrest on Friday. And in sports, the Malawi national netball team, the Queens, ready to face Uganda in a semi-final clash this afternoon. Welcome back. The Medical Aid Society of Malawi, MASM, has underscored the need for effective medical coverage for students, emphasizing that a healthy learner is better positioned to contribute meaningfully to the development of the country's education sector. MASM Blantyre branch manager Edna Kamwendo made the remarks during the launch of the Econo Special Scheme developed in partnership with the Independent Schools Association of Malawi, ISAMA, and is targeting primary and secondary school students.
As MASM, we've seen that there's a gap in the market, especially for our schools, our students. That's both primary and secondary school. If we can all look outside, you'll find that every child has insurance, even at school. But here in Malawi, this is something that we don't have. So because of that, MASM thought of coming up with a product that would cater for the students for both primary and secondary school. In this partnership, ISAMA has about 2,000 schools that they work with. So MASM coming in, it means it can reach itself to all those schools. And on top of that, there are even other schools that might also be interested in this, of which they are also allowed to come into this partnership. It's not only strictly to Isama, but even those that want as well, it's open to them as well. That's why he said that we've opened it to both secondary and primary schools as well. The benefits that the students will get from this, for example, in our first discussion, we said consultation, whereby they can even go to the hospital anytime that they are sick. And also, as soon as they go to the hospital, they'll be able to get the treatment. For admission, they can be admitted as soon as they get the treatment, as soon as they are admitted in the hospitals.
Isama President Wycliffe Chimwendo welcomed the initiative, saying it has come at the right time and will help promote the welfare of learners across the country.
This product is a very important one because it's filling in the gap where we had problems whenever we have our learners sick. But now MASM has come in. Whenever our students, our learners are sick, we know where to take them. And it's a cover that we assure us that whenever our learners are sick, they have got the care that they need. We had challenges in the sense that sometimes we could not have proper medical care. We have parents that are well to do and those that are not well to do. So it was varying. Those that are well to do were able to access medical care, but those that are not well to do had problems. But in this case, with this affordable product, I believe that it's going to bring everyone on board and make sure that the students in private schools at primary and secondary level have the cover that they need.
Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, has introduced a new financing model which channels vaccine procurement budgets directly to countries, giving them full authority to set priorities and manage their immunization programs. We have a report by Alfisha Fisher being read by Ruth Janangwa.
Gavi board chairperson Jose Manuel Barroso said the new model replaces the long-standing rolling applications approach under which countries submitted separate funding requests for each vaccine or initiative. Instead, under the new system, government will be provided with a 5-year allocation of available resources of all kinds of vaccines. The news has brought mixed reactions from the country's health advocates. George Jobe said the new model will help countries such as Malawi to have autonomy as to when and how to procure its vaccines, which will help to speed up the availability of various types of vaccines.
Malawi has been spending time writing proposals, asking for funds to procure some vaccines, making some applications, and sometimes that has led to delays in getting vaccines. In this case, there's going to be efficiency that procurement of vaccines or access of vaccines will be done within a short period of time, because whenever Malawi has a need, it is going to plan on its own and do the procurements on its own, which is going to be very helpful. And sometimes we have also had some needs on vaccines that have been identified, but we're not sure whether this is going to be approved or not. On the other hand, it brings ownership to our country, because the nation knows that it can respond to its needs whenever they arise, and there's that kind of ownership.
While concurring with Joby, another health rights advocate, Maziko Matemba, has however urged the government to put in place a dedicated local team to manage the transition, emphasizing that Malawi must meet procurement requirements and handle vaccine imports directly to avoid potential stockouts.
I think there's more work to be done because countries like Malawi also need to have expertise within country. And I'm hoping with the time Malawi has worked with the Gavi Alliance and other global institutions, we have local capacities. We'll be able to appreciate and work with the Gavi as they transition to the new model, more especially on the market shaping, but also looking at how they negotiate costs for vaccine. And our advice is that government, with this new model, they need to start developing task force or committees within the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Health and other procurement agencies within government and other line ministries, so that they're able to support this transitioning. Because it might look simple on the paper, but it will come to implementation, we find that the country can only be able to manage the complex processes of purchasing new expensive vaccines, which require a lot of support.
Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, has been instrumental in helping Malawi in procuring vaccines such as those of malaria, measles, rubella and COVID-19, among other vaccines. Expectations are high that the coming in of the new financing model will ensure timely vaccine procurement for Malawi, as in the old model, Gavi responded slowly to the country's vaccine applications.
Mayor from Mzuzu City Council, Chembegezo Moses, has stressed the need for different stakeholders to double their efforts in the fight against gender-based violence to end the malpractice. The mayor was speaking at Katoto in Mzuzu during activities to mark the end of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence organized by stakeholders and Mzimba North. Alex Mangosi has compiled this report, being read by Chimwemwe Milulu.
Activities to mark the end of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence started with a march from Airport Turnoff to Katoto Secondary School ground in the city of Mzuzu. Different stakeholders, including government departments, civil society organizations and the academia, participated in the event. In his speech, Mzuzu City Mayor Chembegezo Moses advised different stakeholders to take the end of 16 days of activism to be the beginning of more action against gender-based violence.
I think we are not supposed to take it as a close. We need to take it as the beginning of another journey, because we have a lot of things to do on this issue against gender-based violence on the internet. So I urge all young people to work together to end this problem.
District Gender Officer for Mzimba North, Peter Nyondo, said Malawi is on the right track in the fight against gender-based violence, as evidenced by high numbers of victims reporting the same to relevant authorities.
We have been able to see positive feedbacks from people from the community and those we serve. So we are on the right track, and I hope with the continued efforts towards GBV, I think we are going to reach where we will say GBV no more.
Tommy Banks of Image Livelihoods said different organizations have partnered government in the fight against gender-based violence.
Issues of violence towards young girls as well as also male, it's very huge now, and that's why we also thought that we cannot be able to work in isolation, but we should be able to work as a group in order to address this problem and end this problem once and for all.
The theme for this year's 16 Days of Activism is Unite Against Digital Gender-Based Violence in Malawi.
The welfare of children, mainly orphans, under Bangwe HIV and AIDS self-initiative Bahasi in Blantyre is expected to improve following a donation by HLB, an accounting firm. The company has donated food items and other basic necessities to the orphanage. Deputy Director of Bahasi, Jacob Hong Sing, said the donation will go a long way in strengthening both the academic progress and health of the children.
Well, as an orphanage that is also running a free preschool, this is very profound to us to support minority children coming from the community, and more especially to sustain our feeding program for the orphanage. So this is very substantial in ensuring that we prepare quality. So apparently with the orphanage we have about 45 children. That's 24 girls and 21 boys. And we have 84 children from the community who attend free preschool. Right now we are also running a retailing program that has been running for 5 months. So this month is the last one. We will be closing very soon by the end of December. We also run a home-based care program. This involves going to people who are chronically ill and assisting them with anything we can, like food, and supporting them with clothes, especially with the basic necessities. We also run a support group. These are victims of HIV and AIDS, so they come here, interact every Monday. We also have a youth empowerment club. So this youth empowerment club ensures that they engage with the home-based care program, to provide support and everything else.
HLB Managing Director Flores Kawerama said the firm is committed to helping improve the living conditions of children and their overall well-being.
Cheer for the disadvantaged or organizations that are within our communities that are offering services to the community to make a difference for an impact, for a positive impact. So Bahasi, when we came to visit them, this is not the first time actually. This is over the 7 years that HLB has been in Malawi, this is our third visit. When we first came, it was just starting, I suppose. It was very, very small, but we saw the spirit behind the volunteers that were here, and that they are coming, as you have seen today, they are coming from US or Europe, but they are willing to stay in these circumstances and share and experience their life, so that when they also go back, they can be able to share with other people that are giving the bigger donations. So we thought it is a Malawians or a corporate a good intention to partner with an organization like Bahasi, because they do not have much local support, because even when you speak with the director, they are not really known. It is the spirit behind them wanting to make a difference in a community like Bangwe. So we thought we should come here and try to give them what we have for our Christmas cheer.
Moving on to sports, the Malawi national netball team, the Queens, will face Uganda in a semi-final clash today. The match is slated from 4 o'clock this afternoon. The Queens qualified into the semi-final of the African Netball Cup after defeating Tanzania 55-34 baskets at Griffin Sayenda Sports Complex in Lilongwe. The Queens dominated in all the quarters.
It's going to be another game altogether. We know Uganda is a very big team. We have won, yes. Congratulations to my girls. They played well. They started on a high note and they maintained it, which is good for us. Uganda is another big team. We just need to go back and work on losing balls. Because if we lose more balls against Uganda, Uganda is a team which keeps balls and we have sure passes. So we need to work on that tomorrow so that we come out perfect.
Malawians have high hopes looking at the way they are coming to watch these games. Do you think you have enough time to prepare against Uganda? Quite a lethal team.
We already prepared. We are just going to correct some mistakes that we have seen. Already we are improving each and every game. The little mistakes that are there, we are going to rectify tomorrow and see how we can go forward. Malawians should come in large numbers. Definitely, we need to give them joy at the end of the day.
And that's it from our newsroom this afternoon. A recap of our top stories before we leave. Beneficiaries of this year's lean season food insecurity response program cautioned against abuse of the aid. Former cabinet ministers Richard Chimwendo Banda and Virumbiko Mumba are in police custody following their arrest on Friday. And in sports, the Malawi national netball team, the Queens, ready to face Uganda in a semi-final clash this afternoon. For more updates, scan the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You have been with me, Evelis Chingambe. Thanks for watching and enjoy your weekend.